All right. This is kind of bright. YouTube, what's going on? Let's see what's coming on the live. What's up? Lamangoon 123. Cook. Anna Patel 20. What's going on? Uh, let's see who else is popping out. Hey, Hannah Patel, what's going on? What's up? Uh, who else do we got? All right. Who else? Hey, how you doing, Hannah Patel? I'm good. How are you? How you doing? I'm good. How are you? Cook03. Hey, what's up? You guys probably seen this a lot brighter. I think I told you guys this is gonna be a little bit better this time. YouTube, this is the terrible setup for y'all. I don't know what's going on. I think this may help this way. I might have to move my lamp a little bit. Let's see. This way might help. YouTube, I'm still trying to come up with a better way to help you guys. Uh, it's a lot. Not it looks a lot better on TikTok um, than YouTube. Let's see. Let's go. What's up, man? Me no underscore Z. We all nerds here. I know, right? Especially that there's no class and we still here tripping. Let's see. What's up, Paul? Bigili. What's going on? All right, today we're gonna do some simple stuff, and I think I got a few questions from some kids who. Let me try to wipe the lenses on this camera. Not for you guys on TikTok. That looks a little bit nicer, but still, I gotta get the lighting a little bit better for YouTube. Um, yeah, today we're gonna talk about quadratic equations. I know some of you guys had question about it recently, so that's what we're gonna talk about today. Sammy was here. What's going on? Uh, Nicholas 445. What's up? Easy money. What's going on? All right, today's gonna be kind of short. Let me start so I can help you guys, and then let you guys go to sleep because I started this a lot later than I normally do. Flip the camera. All right, cool. Let's see. All right, let me know if you can see the board a lot better than you normally do. So we're gonna talk about a quadratic equation. So let's say that we have, and I think I need to move these up somehow for the folks on YouTube. Trying to find a way to help you guys on YouTube. It's been terrible. Hold up. There's another light I need to turn off so y'all can see me better. YouTube. Turn this one off. Uh, let's see. This is probably too high for y'all. Honestly, this is way too high. Uh, but yeah, YouTube, I'm still working on it, man. I'm still working on it. Dark Meat, what's up? What's good, man? All right, cool. So if y'all can see me, let me know. If you have any trouble, let me know as well. Let's see. And that's it. All right, cool. So what we're going to talk about is a topic that most of the time kids have trouble with, and it's not really that hard or tough, but it's just you got to know how to do it. Let me plug my phone so this thing don't lose charge on me. All right, cool. Hold on one second. All right, everything is charging. So yeah. So what we're going to talk about is something that sometimes kids have a lot of trouble with. So let's talk about it. quadratic equation. So let's say, so the way normally what happens is when you have equations, there's ways to solve for them. So uh, there's a way to solve for equation. Um, there's if you have an equation x plus 5 is equal to 3, there's ways to solve for this. So what you're gonna do is, subtract 5 from both sides. And then you guys know already how to do this, and we did this last time. Now, the other thing that you can do is the other type of equation that you can have is an equation that where you have things that are related to x squared. Let me get my eraser. So when you have things that are related that have x squared, um, um, so if you have x squared, so let's say you have ax squared plus bx plus c is equal to 0. Yeah, Carlton, Carlton and 10. I'll be waiting for you if you come in here. You think I'm playing? So, ax squared plus bx plus c. So you have a, b, and c. So these are three different coefficients. So there's ways to solve for an equation that has this in it. So the first thing that you want to do is saying, hey, how do I solve for this? So there's multiple ways. If you have an equation like this, there's multiple ways to solve for it. So if you think about what are numbers that, so because we have an exponent of second to the second power, there is different solutions. So you can have one solution, two solutions to this equation, or three solutions to this equation. So when you have an equation like that, that's in terms of x squared, you have one solution, two solutions, or three solutions. Now, the easy way to say, hey, okay, how do I find these solutions, these two solutions? There's easy ways and hard ways. The first thing that we think about is when you have quadratic equation is factoring. So easy way to factor things. So let's say if I had x plus 3 times x minus 5, if I develop this, that's going to give me a quadratic equation. Now, how do I go from here to here? And that's the first way when we think about solving quadratic equation. That is the first way that we think about them. That's the first way. Now, how do I go from here that has ax squared plus bx plus c to here? A plus 3 x minus 5, x plus 3 x minus 5. So, or x plus some value, p, x plus some other value, q. And that's what we're doing when we have a quadratic equation. Now, let's see. Let me start. So that was kind of like a brief explanation, but let me start by giving you guys some examples, and then we'll find a way to solve for them. So let's say I have x squared plus 3x 1, 2 minus 4 is equal to 0. So who can tell me what we're going to have here for this equation? And this is solving by factoring. So now when we can recognize the factors, we're going to solve the equation by factor. When we cannot recognize the factors, we're going to use the quadratic formula. So it will be easier to use it that way. You can use the quadratic formula anytime, but if you can factor it, there's where you can factor it. So the way you would factor this one is you're looking for two numbers When I multiply them together, I get -4. So if I'm looking for two numbers, it could be A and B. I mean, let me call them differently to not confuse you with this. So I'm looking for two numbers. When I multiply them together, I get -4, or I get 4. When I add them, I get 3. So what are these two numbers? When I multiply them together, -4. When I add them, I get 3. Let me see who has answers. One and 4. Paul, Bigle, 1 and 4. Paul, 4 and -1. Okay. Your brain hurts. Okay. So yeah, looking for two numbers. I've seen people say, okay, 1 and 4, and -1 and 4, and +4. So the answers that I'm getting is these two. So either way, let's see which one it is. So when I add these two numbers together, if you don't know what we're doing, we're factoring this by, we're solving this by factoring it. So when I add 1 plus -4, that's one of the answers. So if I add 1 and -4, I multiply them. When I multiply 1 times -4, I get -4. That's right. But when I add those numbers, I have 1 minus 4 is -3. How do I add those? So they're a different sign. This one is positive. This one is negative. So I subtract them. I take 4 minus 1. That gives me 3. And I keep the sign that's in front of the biggest one, which is -3. Now, if I have -1 plus 4, what does that give me? -1 plus 4. -1 plus 4, you say, is like 4 minus 1. 4 minus 1 is 3. So this one give me 3, this one give me -3. When I multiply them, I need to get -4. And when I add them, I need to get 3. So that means these two numbers that I'm looking for are -1 and 4. Make sense? All right, cool. So let's see. Do you guys have any questions? And I'm gonna show you how to write the factors of this one. And I'll do another example, and then we're gonna go into quadratic formula. Any question? Love this. XY Yasmini. Thank you. Keep up the good work. Pepsi Miller Sue. A Nemo _Z. Yeah, it seems like we all nerd. Oh, Nemo, I didn't forget about you guys. All right, cool. So yeah. Yeah, so when I add those, I get what? Negative when I add them, what do I get? I get 3, right? So that means the numbers that I'm looking for is 4 and -1, right? Cool. That's it. So 4 and -1. So how do I write the equation? You remember I was telling you we're going to go from a plus ax squared. We're going to go from this form to something in terms of like x minus a number, x plus a number. So now which number do I need to put here? X plus something, x minus something, to make that equal to this. So remember the two numbers that we found are 4 and -1. So is it x plus 4 and x minus 1, or is it the other way around, or is it x minus 4 times x plus 1? So which one it is? Is it the first option or the second option? Second option. So let me see who got me. Let me see who got this. The first option or the second option? We're working on quadratic equations. Sophia _here's. Is it option 1 or option 2? What do you guys find? Let's see what you guys get. All right, cool. So the way you think about this, if you're trying to FOIL this out, this one's gonna give you x squared. 4 times x is gonna be 4x. 4 times -1, I mean, it's gonna be giving -4. Okay. And then x times -x is gonna give you -x. So it's this option. So it's gonna be x plus 4 times x minus 1. So this one factors into x plus 4 times x minus 1. I'm going to do another example like this, x plus 4 times x minus 1. Let's do another example similar to this. And then what we're going to do is one that has where you have a number in front of this. And then the third example, the last example we're going to do is one that has where you can't use that to solve for it. So let's do another one right quick. So let's say I have, use another different color, x squared plus 5x plus 6, right, is equal to 0. Now, who can tell me what this factors into? So I'm looking for two numbers. When I add them, I get 5. They add up to 5. Add up to 5. They add up to the terms, whatever is in the middle. They add up to 5. Whatever coefficient is in the middle. When I multiply, I'm multiplying to the coefficient that is outside. So add up to 5x, and we'll multiply them. They multiply into 6. So what are those two numbers? So the way, normally when you think about this, you said, okay, what are the multiples of 6? Because I'm multiplying them to get into 6. I can multiply 1 times 6. That gives me 6. But does that add up to, what does that add up to? 1 plus 6. 1 plus 6 gives me 7. So it doesn't give me 5. So let's start with 2. 2 times 3 is equal to 6. 2 plus 3 is 5, right? So that means that those are the two numbers that I'm looking for. One of them is 2, one of them is 3. Now, how do I write the factors that make up this quadratic equation? So x plus 3 times x plus 2 is equal to 0. And that's how you would do this one. So if you were solving this, you solve this term, and then you'll solve this separately. So x would be -3, and x would be -2. So if you take -2 squared, that gives you 4. -2 times this, that gives you -10 plus 6, that would give you 0. So yeah, so these are the two different solutions to the equation. X is equal to -3, x is equal to -2. But the factors are x plus 3 times x plus 2. Do you guys understand? Before I move on to something a little bit different, do you understand? Yes, no, maybe. Let me see. Take off. Yeah, I know you don't need math lessons. That's okay. Other people do. All right, good job, Jasmine. All right. Let's see. Cool. All right. Wendy says he understands. Wendy, he or she. Yeah, that's it. So that's how you would do this one. So let's do something else that has different things in front of them. So let's say we have one that doesn't have a 1 in front of the x. And I know a lot of kids have a problem with this. So let's say I had, let me see, x2, 3x squared, and I'm making this up in my head, plus, let's see, 3x squared plus 5x, and I don't know if this is going to work out. Hold up. Plus 9 is equal to 0. I might change the numbers. Let's see. 3x. And then 2x plus 9. Let's see. It's going to give me 6x squared. X plus 9. 3x squared, and I'm putting it here. You're probably going to see what I'm doing. Plus 3x squared plus x plus 12x plus 9. All right, so I don't want y'all to see this. So 3x squared, oh, that's exactly the same thing I just wrote. No, you can divide all these by 3. That's not what I meant to put. So let's say 3x plus 1, 2x, 2x plus 4 plus 3. How's that? 6x squared plus 5x plus 3. 5x plus 3. All right, cool. So, is it plus 3? Hopefully I got it this time. So 6x squared plus 5x plus 3. So the way we want to proceed with this, we're looking for two numbers. Now, so the first thing you want to do is trying to find something that makes a whole lot of sense for us. The first thing we want to do is we're going to focus on the middle term. So how else can we write the middle term? So the first term is 6x squared. Now we're going to rewrite the middle terms with two terms that with differently in terms of, we're going to add two terms. It could be subtract two terms together. So where one of them is going to be a multiple of this, and the other one is going to be a multiple of that. That's the first way to explain it. Probably a really weird way to explain it, and I'll explain it a little bit different for you guys so you can understand. So the terms that I'm looking for, let's say I'll write the middle term in terms of 3x plus 2x. So, or if I say this, 5x, 3x. What did I have? I forgot what I had. 6x squared. All right, let's try to solve in terms of quadratic, and I'll come back to solving this. So let's say we're going to solve this in terms of quadratic. So b squared minus 4ac. And I'll come back to explaining this later. So let's say we want to solve this in terms of quadratic. So because this is not, one of the ones that you can recognize if it's not. So what you want to do is, all of them actually you can do that. So you can solve this in terms of using the quadratic formula. So what you say is delta is equal to b squared minus 4ac. And I think I'm having trouble because I'm coming up with these on my head and some of them don't match up. So delta is equal to b squared minus 4ac. So as you can see here, whatever is in front of x squared is a, whatever is in front of the x is b, whatever is in front of the c is c, right? So b squared, so that would give you 5 squared minus 4 times a, which is 6, times c, which is 3. So that would be delta, and that's what they call the discriminant. So delta is b squared minus 4ac. Now, I didn't make this up last night. It's something that you have to remember. So the way you solve for x would be, minus b plus or minus the square root of delta divided by 2a. Now, the first thing you need to do is find a delta and then take the square root of it and then plug it inside of this formula. So you're going to have two x's, one for the plus one and one for the minus one. So how do I find delta? Delta is b squared minus 4ac. A is here, b is here, c is here. So there are three terms in the quadratic formula, in the quadratic equation. One of them is in front of x squared. We call it a. That match with the 6, so that means a is here. This one match with the 5. That means 5 is equal to b. And the next one match with the 3. That means c is equal to 3. So b squared would be 5 squared minus 4 times a, which is 6, times c, which is 3. Now, what's 5 squared? 25. And I don't know if this one's going to do. Probably not. I probably need different numbers. 25 minus 4 times 6 times 3. All right, this you won't get an answer for this in terms of real numbers. That gives me negative 47. That means I need to take another example that looks cleaner than that. You could do this in imaginary, but I want to start something small with you guys. So let's say I had x squared. Let's do this one. So let's say I had x squared plus 5x plus 3. So a would be 1, whatever is in front of the x squared. 1 is equal to a. A is equal to 1. B is equal to what? 5. And C is equal to 3. So delta is equal to b squared minus 4ac. B would be 5 squared. So that means delta is equal to, and remember what we're solving for. X is equal to minus b plus or minus the square root of delta divided by 2a. Delta is equal to, b is equal to 5. So delta is equal to what? 5. So b squared minus 4ac. 5, delta would be 5 squared minus 4 times a, which is 1. Remember, I said there's 1 here. There's a 1 here in front of the x. If they don't put anything in there, it's not a 0, it's a 1. C times c is 3, right? What's delta? Delta is equal to 25. 4 times 3 is 12. Minus 12, delta is equal to 13. Now, 13, what you're going to do is take this 13 and put it here. So square root of 13. So x would be minus b, b is 5, plus square root of 13 divided by 2a, a is 1, 2. Or x1, x2, you're going to find two solutions, minus 5 minus square root of 13, not square root of 3, square root of 13 divided by 2. So these are the two solutions that you have for this. Do you guys understand? If you have any questions, let me know, because I kind of went fast on this and I don't know why. Let me see if you have any questions. Yes, no, maybe. Section 3 and 5 that act as an adder to 5. I forgot the example that I chose. Because I was choosing the examples in my head, I forgot the examples that I chose. Aiden Marino, you could have been right because I forgot. No question. Jasmine 45, no question. You can understand that means. All right, cool. I can do another example of this. Let's do another example, and I'm gonna start. I'm gonna explain everything the same way. I mean, a little bit different probably, so you can understand what I mean. So we deal with quadratic equation is an equation that has at most two solutions, and also the equation is normally written in the form of a x squared plus b x plus c. So is equal to 0 if you have this. You're solving for this. So these are the coefficients. You know, there's one here, there's one here, and one here. So the way you would solve for this is, you know, calculate the values that makes that value of x that satisfies this equation. So you come up with a formula. In order for you to find the x is equal to, and this is not, I'm not making this up, minus b plus or minus, and there's going to be two solutions at most, the square root of delta divided by 2a. The delta is what they call the discriminant. So because everything else we have a, we have b. Okay, the only thing we don't have in this equation is delta. The value of delta, let me write this in a different color so you can understand. The value of delta is equal to b squared minus 4ac, right? Correct? So delta is equal to b squared minus 4ac. So how do we solve for this? So we know b. Let's say we're solving for, let's say 2x squared. I'm gonna put I can put a 2 here. 2x squared plus 7x minus 3. So let's say this is the equation that we're solving for is equal to 0. Solving for this equation, we know that A corresponds to 2, B corresponds to 7, and C corresponds to -3. Make sure we remember the sign. So it is B squared. And here B is 7 squared minus 4 times A, which is 2, times C, which is -3. And that's all you have to put for this one. 7 squared is 49. 2 times 4 is 8, times another 3. That gives you what? 8 times 3 is 24, right? Negative, that turns into positive 24. So what's 49 minus 24? I'll put the whole thing in the calculator. Minus 4 times 2 times -3. 73. So this is 73. How do we solve for x? X is equal to minus b. B is 7. Minus 7 plus or minus the square root of 73 divided by 2 times a, which is 2. That's going to give you 4 at the bottom. So it is not complicated. It's not complicated. So it's really, really simple, but you kind of have to know the formula. If you don't know any of those formulas, you just don't know how to do it. So it's just algebra, putting the stuff inside of the formula that you already know. Let's see if you guys have any other questions. And let me see. All right, cool. Hold up. Let's see if you guys have any questions. Questions? Hey, what's up? Let's see. Questions, YouTube? Nope. All right, any questions, guys? No questions. Yasmin, 45. If you don't understand to wait, never mind. If you guys don't understand, let me know you don't understand too. Yeah. All right, so I know it's summer. I won't keep you guys for long, and I know y'all got stuff to do that is more important than watching me live doing that. So, and it's also late too. It's about 11 o'clock. So I think I'm gonna let you guys go tonight, and I'll see y'all. I gotta get to do some other stuff. I'm gonna see you guys another time, and yeah, I'll come back Tuesday. So this time in the summer, unless you have a question for me, it won't be as long as we normally do in the fall or the spring. So, but we're still gonna go live every Tuesday just to keep the momentum, so you guys know we live. Hey, what's up, Charlotte _116, Kania, bye. I'll catch you guys later. And it was nice. It's always nice doing this, and I'll see you guys another time. And yeah, that's it. Start recording myself.